Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's up? It's Tvshka and it's Soul.
Hello.
Welcome to Ruckus. We're going to do a little bit of a trailer reaction. We haven't really done this.
No.
I don't know if you and Josh did any for any of the sports stuff, but you know what? I mean, we may do a watch along. I don't know. I mean, this is a native inspired actually with a native role as far as Echo coming from Marvel Studios. I myself am a part of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. And Soul, you want to kind of introduce yourself and talk about your indigenous connections? Yeah.
Hello. So if you don't know, because I speak about it all the time, I'm Cuban American, and you should, right? And so if you come from the Caribbean, you are a mix of a whole lot of things. And so I'm a mixture of European, of African, of indigenous, of some Asian, apparently. So got a little bit of everything in me. The indigenous tribes in the Caribbean, one of them is called Taino. So that's my indigenous background. They were wiped out by the Europeans, so there's no current tribe today, but that's my indigenous background.
Yeah, connection, and then also I know you're just a lover, like myself, lover of culture, and just appreciation for all cultures, and especially like indigenous. Ones here in America. Unfortunately, like I said earlier, 95% were wiped out for the Tainos. I know for me being Choctaw, we are descendants of the Muskegean tribe. And so there's commonalities with Chickasaw, Cherokee, Seminole, and Creek, which is the big five, really. But anyways, are you ready to get to this?
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
Maya.
There we go.
I see everything that you
good
are.
Representation. Way to be a good adult.
Right.
I
Go beat the shit out of him.
He's gonna wreck this dude. Oh my god.
Fuck yeah. He deserves it.
Oh.
That's what you get for making fun of deaf kids.
I like the rhythm of the echo. It pans left and right.
Don't be afraid.
The blood on the white suit too.
I know, right? I don't know if that's pulled straight from the comics, but that it's sweet just like that does.
Is your tinnitus come back a little bit in that scene?
Yes. I was gonna mention that.
You have so much pain in you. You. So much rage. That you can't contain it.
Okay. All right. There's a lot.
Yeah.
You and I.
That's her, not her dad. Okay.
Are the same.
We're definitely gonna play with sound in the show, and I'm so excited for it.
Who's the monster?
All right, Cyclops. Oh my gosh! Hey, what are your first thoughts? So
that looks so good. The sound design. I said that when watching the trailer. I'm looking forward to that. Anytime there's good sound design, when a fight happens and they take away the sound and then slowly bring it back in and adding stuff in. Your tinnitus was probably ringing a little bit there.
Yeah, anytime it's like, I'm like, okay, cool. That's going. Actually, we try to get that out real quick.
I liked the little tidbits of like the indigenous stuff that we saw. It looked like possibly we'll find out about like her parents or grandparents, because it didn't look like looked like in the past. It didn't look like present day. So either that's
like
her as a younger kid, or her parents or grandparents, or some kind of story that comes in. I don't know. I haven't really read any of the Echo comics, so I don't really know much of her backstory other than that she's deaf. It looks cool. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, and yeah, the character is deaf, and even the actor who plays her, Alaqua Cox, which is awesome. I mean, I love
Yeah.
that. They're not just getting native representation, but hearing
Mhm.
impaired, or kind of disabilities kind of representation. Yeah, kind of scrolling back through it. Yeah, it shows one of the tribe's women pregnant and leaning up against a tree. So
Mhm.
yeah, is that her grandmother? Is that her mother? No, I'm excited to kind of see it. Skeptical, just
Mhm.
because native representation in film hasn't had the best track record. As of late, it's getting better for sure.
You'll watch Reservation Dogs.
Yes, right. Yeah. And her dad is Zahn McClarnon, who plays the cop in Reservation Dogs, but also pretty much Dark Winds, every
All the
kind of
things.
Western. Yeah, he's always like the native cop. Excited to see him back in it. Credited as Charlie Cox. So we know we're gonna be
Mhm.
getting a little bit of Daredevil.
Yeah.
Which I'm with you. Hadn't read the comics yet. I definitely do want to dive into that. But yeah, Daredevil coming back in the comics, she was very much a part of kind of like team up with Daredevil,
Mhm.
as well as like we saw there with Hawkeye, and even she donned the Ronin title for a little
Mhm.
bit, I think with the Avengers. But yeah, they got Graham Greene, who is one of the handful of native actors you see in everything. So he was in Dancing with Wolves, as well as Tontu Cardinal, who was actually there in the trailer herself. Kind of like it looks like a group of people, maybe a church or a ceremony, because they have that looks like they have the hymnal books.
Mm.
So I'm excited to hear maybe a little bit of Choctaw Hymn 48. Let's go. It is a red book. I'm just saying it's a red book. That's what we got. But no, the character is Cheyenne in the comics.
Mm.
I don't know if they really said that or kind of shown that in the show as far as with Hawkeye. I'm excited.
One thing that I'm excited for the show is I'm always good with some more Vincent D'Onofrio, especially as
Right.
Wilson Fisk.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed all 3 seasons of Daredevil on Netflix, and then
The
to see him
best.
back in Hawkeye, just anytime you get more Vincent D'Onofrio, Wilson Fisk, I'm here for it.
Yeah, and Hawkeye, he was a little goofy or a little
Yeah,
goofier, maybe with the costume design and such.
his Hawaiian
Yeah,
shirt.
the Hawaiian shirt, right? But yeah, no, Vincent D'Onofrio, I mean, absolutely killed it in Daredevil, the Netflix series, as did everybody.
Mhm.
I mean, the score, the stunt coordination, the directing, and it looks like it's kind of along the same tone.
Yeah.
It is rated TVMA, so that's big for Disney to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Disney. Keep doing that.
Right. Do
um,
that for Blade.
Yeah, do that for Blade, do that for Daredevil, or not Daredevil, but yeah, Daredevil for sure, Reborn. But no, I mean, even though it's going to be a movie, do that for Deadpool. Just give us the mature content, because there's a lot of us that are supporting you more so than maybe some of the younger generation, and that's what we want to see, bud. So get on it,
Yeah.
Disney. The Bobs, get on it, Bobs.
Right.
But I mean, we know from Hawkeye, she's basically kind of avenging her father's death.
Mhm.
He was part of the tracksuit mafia, and you
Yeah.
saw her in the tracksuit there in the trailer itself. But yeah, but you got the dog barking. So glad they got the res dog, because it is not a reservation or a native home without a mangy barking dog. I just hope the truck that he's in, or he or she, as far as the dog, I just hope that truck you have to drive backwards for it to work. Then it'd be a true res vehicle. Some big brute of a
Mhm.
native, stepping out of some of the housing, as far as it looks like maybe TP flaps or kind of entry,
Mhm.
going into the village. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I'd imagine the Cheyenne were somewhat similar to Choctaws as far as housing and such, but it looks like a brush arbor. And that's what a lot of Choctaws did. Be interesting, kind of see like what some of that looks like as far as their family history. Like definitely, you see a little bit of some powwow dancing going on.
Mm. I was gonna say,
Um,
was that a powwow?
yeah, yeah. Those definitely powwow, and that may be what he's stepping out into as well. Uh, but I don't know. Maybe there's a little bit of fighting. Maybe
Mm.
Maybe it's a love interest, or maybe it's a little bit of a battling, combatants kind of situation where she's going to kick the shit out of some oversized dude who has an oversized ego.
Or
But
maybe like Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk fell in love with a native girl, and then kind of
yeah,
there's
right.
something there.
Yeah, little native kingpin running around.
Yeah.
We do see them, it looks like a little bit of like a makeshift kind of bedding tent with pins, and they're doing a little bit of the shadow kind of puppetry.
Mhm.
So storytelling is definitely big, with really any culture,
Right.
but definitely with native cultures, because that's that's our oral history, and
Right.
that's really a lot of what we have to go off of, because we don't have a whole lot of written history, before 1700 for sure. Fisk just owning it. We get a disco ball, so I'm excited to see what that looks like. But
What song do you think they'll use?
oh, for the disco, I mean, Heart of Glass is always a good one.
True, true.
We saw a little bit of her kind of character arc in Hawkeye. I know
Yeah,
Hawkeye wasn't everybody's favorite. I loved Hawkeye,
I
but I
really liked
also,
it.
yeah, I mean, but I'm not a stan, but I mean, I just appreciate any Marvel content that I can actually get. I know right now Loki's firing on all cylinders. She had a little bit of a mini arc kind of in that,
Mhm.
because she did eventually turn on Kingpin and shoot him, and
Right.
shot him in the eye.
Yeah.
So that's why he had the eye patch at the end. So interesting to have a big reveal like that in the actual trailer, right?
Right. One thing I liked about Hawkeye is that, like, technically, like, we could be Hawkeye. Like, it's people as a guy with a bow and arrow, it's a normal, like, dude kind of thing, so you could place
Yeah.
yourself into, like, his shoes. You have, like, these types of characters, and I'm glad that, like, Echo is gonna be one of those types of characters as well, where it's, like, it's seedy, it's, just regular people, it's, like, bad people, it's people that you can relate to, or, like,
Mhm.
that you could actually be if you wanted to, like, anyone can
Yeah.
wield a gun, or anyone can wield a sword or a bow and arrow. Can you do it well? Probably not, but
Right.
you could if you really wanted to. None of us can get into an Iron Man suit, or, like, be Thor and have lightning powers, so
Yeah. Or get bit by a
these are
radioactive
more
spider, or
right,
yeah, grow the size of a building when we get mad. Yeah.
right,
Yeah, I'm with you, because because now you got Echo, you got Hawkeye, you got
yeah,
Hot Girl as well. But then you also have Falcon, who's ordinary person, but just given a little bit of some tools that they can leverage or they can utilize. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
Captain America now.
Right, yeah. I mean, he has a shield and wings, so he has a little bit
Right,
of tech, kind of like Tony, but yeah, just it's the more grounded aspects
mhm,
of Marvel. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, and Daredevil to an extent. I mean, he has
yeah,
heightened senses, um, but he trains. I mean, he works
yeah,
hard, at his craft, but just the grittiness. Like, I mean, we're
yeah,
you know we're in the muck of the streets. We're not
yeah,
in space with Marvels, or with the Guardians of the
yeah,
Galaxy. We're not up in the skies, with the Avengers and such. I mean, we're on the ground, we're in the streets, we're right next to the chain link, and that's just kind of representative of most of our human experience is,
yeah,
is at that level, so we can kind of associate a little bit better with it.
yeah.
What are some things you're kind of maybe looking forward to, or do you have any theories or any guesses as far as what we're going to see?
I don't really have any guesses, because a lot of times when people come up with, like, theories or guesses for stuff before shows even come out, they get
Right, I get where you're
disappointed
going. Yeah.
because they don't because it's like, "Well, I wanted this to happen and you didn't do that."
Yeah,
And
right.
so, like,
Well, those people
I'll
are
do
unrealistic, so
yeah.
and unrelenting. But
I'll do those theories, like, once I see, like, an episode, be like, "Oh, what's the
Mhm.
theory that might happen next episode?" But I'm not like "I wonder what's gonna happen this season," kind of thing, especially if it's the first season of something. I just want it to be good. I want Vincent D'Onofrio to be in it significantly, which he's significantly in the trailer. So
Yeah.
we got that. If we're gonna have native stuff to like actually have it and like show it and have it be a good part of the story or a significant part of the story, not just we go to a tribe or res for like a few seconds to be like, yo, what's up? Like,
Yeah.
and
Oh, it
then
does
leave.
exist. Okay, back to New York.
Right. I just like hope that it's good.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I think hopefully everybody has that same
Yeah.
wish or
Right.
expectation. But
No, I want it to be bad
yeah,
so I could shit on it.
yeah, right. Oh man, Marvel's going downhill. See, told you. Yeah, kind of with the native aspect, I wouldn't be offended or hurt if they kind of had an amalgamation of different tribal influences.
Mhm.
Because we're still new to a lot of the inclusion as far as like film.
Mm,
And it's hard because like there's I mean I call them the sexier tribes, but like the Navajo, the
yeah.
Sioux, the Cheyenne. I mean they were the plains,
Mhm.
and they were the ones always in the movies,
Yeah.
getting a lot of the work, but getting a lot of the representation, but then also just getting a lot of those stories. From the outside in, a lot of people are just looking at, oh, it's natives and that's it. But
Mhm.
for us with Choctaws, it's like I really don't see a whole lot of Choctaw stories being told
Mm,
because, we were Mississippi, Alabama, we were in the swamps, we were farmers, and that's just not as, appealing maybe or as exciting
right.
as, we're not in the Westerns because, we didn't, rob trains or, fight a whole lot of cowboys.
Mm,
Whenever we got relocated to Oklahoma, we fought oil tycoons and were often murdered by oil tycoons, like my great grandfather was. But that's neither here nor there. I just hope that it's just authentic,
right.
in spirit, because it doesn't have to be specifically stuck to just Cheyenne, and
Mhm.
that's from a Choctaw standpoint. I'm sure Cheyennes would say, "Hey, screw you guys. This is we're sticking with our culture." But even with natives, we're an amalgamation of each other as far
Yeah.
as others' cultures. Because even with powwows, like tomorrow we have a powwow here in Durant, Oklahoma, with the Choctaw Nation. We have our big powwow, and we never had powwows back in the day. That's a Western tribes
Mm,
kind of custom. We didn't have the fancy dances. We didn't have, a lot of the kind of regalia that you see at a lot of powwows with the fancy dancers. We had social gatherings, but, we, kind of have our own song and dance. We have our own, kind of customs and games. And that's not really seen at powwows.
right.
But through us being limited as far as our numbers, we kind of assimilated with each other and kind of, shared each other's cultures, took joy and pride in each other's cultures too,
Yeah.
because we had to group up because we were so few and we
Right.
were all we had. So, we had a
Well,
lot
also
more in common with those tribesmen than we did, Western civilization or, kind of European. But yeah.
also if you like read up on the history, like indigenous people of North, South America and the Caribbean, they
Yeah.
traveled and talked to each
Mhm.
other and
Yeah.
reproduced with each other. And that's why a lot of times when people get their DNA, it just says Native American and doesn't like
Yeah.
say a tribe because they were like, let me travel here and here and here and here and like talk to people. And so you might be able, even if you are of one tribe, you probably have a little bit of something else in
Mhm.
you too. And then they're even like done more DNA tests of Pacific Islanders also
Mhm.
traveled through the Pacific Island, like, and talked to Native Americans in South America and North America. And so there's people
Yeah.
that have Pacific Islander blood through that, through their native blood. So it's really cool when you think about indigenous people on this side of the world before Europeans came, like
Mhm.
really just through the Pacific all the way to North and South America and the Caribbean, just kind of chilled with each
Yeah.
other and like
Yeah.
had a good time.
Yeah.
And the Europeans fucking ruined it, man.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, you just had this clash. North America was the intersection of like Eastern and Western culture. the New World or the Last Frontier, or, you know, the Last One Conquered. We had a lot of Eastern influence, like Japanese culture. They revere their elders in high regard. You know, just how you receive things with two hands, and so there's a lot of similarities that a lot of tribes have too. Whereas, you know, then we smash in with Western expansion. They had the machines, they had the tools, they had the weapons that we just never really worked on because we didn't see the need. And we didn't really have the need. We didn't have kingdoms that were just battle ready and, you know, just lining up all their poor soldiers while they sit in their castle and have them just shoot at each other. Like, it's insane. Like, what we did was we played stickball, which I really hope we see. That's what I want, Marvel. I want to see stickball, bro. Even though the Cheyenne probably didn't play it. I know it was more
fought with wooden swords to not kill each other.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but we would play stickball, which, you know, lacrosse is based off of. We would play that to settle disputes. I mean, people probably did die for sure because, you know, you had, you know, maybe 50 to 100 people.
But it was harder to
going against each other. But yeah, but we weren't lining up and just trying to kill each other because that's our cousin. That's, you know, that's still family somehow, or, you know, or friends even. And, you know, those are people that we trade with, but we're just having this dispute. So we don't want to, we don't see that murdering them or killing them is the answer. But hey, let's play a game. Whoever wins, you get the hunting ground. You get this, you get that. And you know, then we come to that agreement. And we just had a little bit more of an evolution kind of socially. Whereas on the other end of the world, as far as, you know, European and Western civilization, you had more of advancements in industry and weaponry and all that. Human history, man, it's a little bit messy.
Right.
What can you say?
Will we get all of that in the show? Probably not. But
right.
Hopefully we get some.
Stickball. Hopefully, let's get stickball, bro. Let's go. But yeah, any final thoughts?
I'm excited for this because this is a show that doesn't really have to connect much to anything either. Where like
good point.
Shows like Loki or WandaVision or Falcon and Winter Soldier, those are connecting to a lot of other movies and things, where this, it's connecting to Hawkeye and it's going to connect a little bit to Daredevil, but it's not really connecting to like the multiverse. Who the fuck was
Hawkeye before, really?
Yeah, like this is not a
bow and arrow that was in, like, you know, one scene in the movie. Okay, whatever.
Now, if we see like Loki time slip into the episode, then okay, then it's a little different. But
he's in the village scene. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
He's in the 1700 village.
Loki's like, oh, this dancing's cool. I'm gonna join in.
I love that, actually. You know, I didn't really, you know, think that, but I love that. I mean, because it's not interwoven so intrinsically with the rest of the Marvel fabric. Like, it's kind of one of the ending threads where, hey, hopefully they braid it, baby. Let's go. Let's braid some new threads. Let's get, you know, some more indigenous representation, and let's get some stickball. Let's do it, Marvel. But
let's do it.
Yeah. But for you all watching us, you know, leave a like, subscribe, comment, you know, ring the bell, do all that stuff. But you can also follow us at Ruckus EV. At everything pretty much. And you can join the Ruckus at patreon.com/RuckusEV. But leave us a comment. If you're native, let us know what tribe you are. We definitely want to connect with all of our indigenous folk and brethren. And if you're not, still leave a comment. Let us know what you're excited about with Echo. Soul, thank you so much for jumping on so late in the day after you've already had a full day of work. Well, that's it, y'all. So thank you so much for joining us. Soul, thank you again. And everybody, you take care. Peace.